Blessed are the blind. That is the best way I can describe this movie. And before you proceed, please be aware of two things. First of all, if you're new to this channel, I'm an Orthodox Christian, so I will absolutely be hating on this film from that perspective. And the second one is there will be spoilers. So if you really want to see this movie or want to see it at all, there will be major spoilers ahead. So I went into this movie completely blind. I had no idea of the plot except of the basic synopsis, which is a woman is brought back to life by unorthodox means, and she goes into the world on a journey of self-discovery. I don't know if you guys remember that meme from, I know, a couple of years ago. Describe a movie plot badly. Well, this was it. This is, a billionaire in cosplay beats up mentally ill people. Batman. Or the one that I thought of, and I'm very proud of. An Orthodox elder is trying to kill an Orthodox saint through supernatural means. Anesthesia. I haven't read the original book. I didn't know even if it exists until the movie. From what I could see online, a lot of Scottishness of the original novel was removed, and this was one of my major hurdles with the Boys series, and the reason why I did not start to watch it was because the main character, I honestly forgot his name, is very Scottish, and it adds a lot of charm, and I think that simply replacing him with some everyday guy was a huge mistake. I even heard that Steven Spielberg wanted to direct the Harry Potter movies, but his intent was to move the setting to the United States, and thank God that did not occur. Likewise, in this movie, I do not know how the original should have went, but I have a nagging suspicion that this was a poor move, especially because Scots find some, national pride in this novel. I don't know why, honestly, but be it as it may. So, this movie starts, and the bigger, I did not sign up for a lot of things that were in this movie, like full frontal nudity in, an everyday movie you see in a theater. I did not subscribe to that. A lot of sex scenes which are very explicit. I did not sign up for that. I did not sign up for a mentally challenged woman playing with a penis of a corpse, or stabbing the face of that corpse with a scalpel and all of this in like large zoom. Like, it's not like it sort of happens just outside of the camera view, and you're like, no, you full front and center. Yeah. What I did like about the movie is that the way Bella, the main character, absolutely psychologically and destroys Duncan Wedderburn. That got a lot of laughs from me. The setting is quite beautiful. I don't know if they used AI to generate it. It does sort of feel like AI. It's probably just CGI, but now that we have this prolapse of AI into everyday world, it sort of seems AI-ish. Still, it's quite beautiful because it is this sort of steampunk Victorian era, and she visits like Egypt, France, and you see this different interpretation of like 19th century England and all of those places, and it's quite interesting. It's quite beautiful, and that's where the positive starts. I will start, and well, I'm already talking, but and this won't be a thorough review because I simply want to share my impressions. The biggest thing about this movie is that Bella, the main character, so when you're first introduced to her, she seems very mentally challenged, but it turns out that Bella originally committed suicide. She was pregnant, and that the mad doctor who found her body actually used the brain of her unborn child, and he replaced the brains and then reanimated and then reanimated the woman with her child's brain. I don't know how that works. I mean, as one does, of course. And then sort of everything becomes very awkward, and I don't know how this movie was allowed to be screened or anything. But remember all those horrid sex scenes I described previously? Well, they're in essence done by mentally by a 12-year-old child. And you're like, this isn't normal. Somebody should go to jail to this. Who thought that this was a good idea? Who approved of this? Who financed this? Who distributed this? But again, this is Hollywood. So it's all too natural for Hollywood to make something as unholy as this. I'm honestly surprised they didn't do this earlier. By the way, when I say 12 years, I'm being very generous, because based on her language patterns, she's way younger than 12, and they make a point early on in the film that she's sort of mentally she's advancing at an increased rate, so she's younger, much younger than 12. And I think that they were trying to go for, well, mentally she's advancing, so she's not really 12 years old. But man, it's yucky. It's like that horrid lolly apologist. Well, this sexy 4-year-old is actually an 8,000-year-old vampire. No, guy, you should go to jail forever. And that's the most lenient punishment you should deserve. So there's that. In any case, at one point she ends up in France. She becomes a prostitute. Yes, you are blessed with all of those scenes. At one point, there is this father who brings his 2 sons to teach them how to do it. Please pour theophany holy water directly in my ear and bleach directly in my brain. She becomes a socialist, which I later joked about. Wait, is this movie trying to tell us that socialism is, an ideology for 12-year-olds? Is that the point that the movie is trying to make? And then she comes back, she marries this sort of doctor, but then the husband of the woman whose body belonged to sort of previously barges in, and I think that the entire movie theater sort of sigh like, oh no, we don't want another 15 minutes of this, and there's like 15-20 minutes of that. And that's it. I hated it. It's very pretty. It's pretty horrible. Essentially the poor things in the end are the audience.